Jackie, I'm just trying to wrap my head around real estate and thinking about when's a good time to buy, when's a good time to sell, the economy, everything. Watch this video for basics on supply and demand and how that applies to real estate. Hey everybody, Jackie Who here. You already know what it is, so I'm gonna get straight into it. Today, I'm going to cover the basic concepts of supply and demand to help my newer home buyers or newer home investors kind of wrap their head around understanding real estate and what is real estate. Well, maybe I won't go into that necessarily, but why are prices the way they are? Is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time to sell? Yada, yada. Real estate follows the basic law of supply and demand. Excuse my cats in the background, but if there are more houses on the market than the number of buyers looking to buy, home prices are going to go down because the demand is low. If there are not a ton of houses on the market, but a ton of buyers looking, prices are going to go up because there's a ton of demand and not enough supply. A rough barometer of supply and demand is a statistic that the National Association of Realtors has come up with called months of supply. You've heard me talk about this in my other videos when I talked about what is a buyer's market, what is a seller's market. Roughly speaking, 6 months of supply on the market is a neutral market. That means there are an equal number of buyers and sellers on the market. That means that the amount of houses that are out there are going to sell in a decent amount of time at around their list price. Now I'm going to talk on a more macro level about what affects supply or what factors go into supply and what factors go into demand. So there are 4 factors that go into supply. I'm not talking about why doesn't somebody put their house on the market? I'm more talking about, again, macro. So there are 4 factors. 1, labor force, how many people are available to work and for how much. 2, construction costs. They kind of go together, but if you remember, wood went up a crazy amount, concrete went up a crazy amount during the pandemic because there wasn't enough. Going back to supply and demand, there was a lot of demand, not enough supply. 3rd and 4th kind of go together. 3rd is government controls, and 4th is government fiscal policies. There's a lot of different things I could say about that, and we could go back years and years and see how there's been a lack of building due to government policies and all these other factors that we're talking about. But one thing that I did want to point out is President Joe Biden in 2022 launched a program that gives state and local governments funds if they essentially reform their land use policies. He's trying to get more density into areas to increase the number of houses available within the next 5 years. So how does that look like, maybe more on a micro level? Like the Southern California has a lot of single family zoning. There have been quite a few bills that have passed recently that are trying to increase the density in neighborhoods that typically are only single family homes to get more housing available. Joe Biden passing that, the goal was to try to close the supply gap and the housing shortage within the next 5 years. It feels ambitious, but let's go for it. Very curious to see what happens. We've already seen the effects of this with SB 9 passing in California, I think last year, where you could take a single family lot that was zoned R1 and you could divide it and have 4 units on it. Investors and developers were very excited. People living in really nice single family neighborhoods were maybe not. There are 5 factors that affect demand. The first 2 are population and demographics. A good example of this would be in 2021 when we were already in a seller's market where there weren't enough homes for the amount of buyers looking. A bunch of millennials entered the home buying market. They were at the age where it was time for them to buy, and there weren't a lot of houses for them. So as they entered the market, values continued to go up. Secondly, in the same time frame, institutional buyers entered the home market as well. There were, of all the homes that were sold in the US in 2021, 13.2% of that were institutional buyers. Think Blackstone or people who are buying and trying to turn us into all renters.